A cattle shortage is driving up prices. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from the ABC discussing cattle shortages and our steak becoming the world's most expensive. If we jump over here to, where is it? This is the Meat and Livestock Australia website, and we can see this is the 50 sale yards, 70 market reports per week. But this is the price of cattle. We can see the cents per kilogram for, the EYCI, the heavy steer and the medium cow, and red is 2019, orange is 2018, and black is 2020. So apparently inflation's only 0.7%, yet look at that increase, guys, from the beginning of the year, from January to now. We can look here. This is beef cattle. We click here on sheep. We can see, it's all over the place, but generally not as drastic a leap since previous years. So the latest data 798 now, which is still a bit higher from the 700 in 2019 and 666 in 2018. If we look at cattle though, there you go, guys. Look at that. We'll scroll back till we have enough of each. So 791 as opposed to 515 in 2018 and 494 in 2019. So yeah, it's surged. And if you've been following the channel for some time, you would certainly have heard me discuss just how we buy a cattle. We buy an entire beast. And I remember earlier in the year when there were concerns about beef price surging, I told Rachel, okay, go buy. We were only going to buy a quarter, just a portion. I said, no, buy a half. And then the butcher said, oh, I got the whole thing. Do you want the whole thing? I said, yes, take it. Take the whole thing. Normally we like to get, maybe a quarter, a forequarter, or a hind quarter, depending on how much we want to spend, or a entire beast if we're going to go through it. So I'm not looking forward to calling the butcher again to get another animal if it's gone up from at the beginning of the year about 477 to over 800, guys. And if you're interested, Rachel's done some videos on the channel of how she actually processes all the meat we get from the butcher. Check it out if you want to look at a way of saving money, particularly now that the price is surging so high. So let's have a look. The world's most expensive steak, now Australian, as a cattle shortage and demand drives record prices. Enjoy your steak this Christmas because it might be too expensive next year. Beef prices in Australia hit an all-time high in 2020, with the key indicator hitting $8 per kilogram, making it the most expensive in the world. It's been a record year in the livestock sector, but 2021 could be even bigger, according to Auctions Plus. Now, there's an engineer I met. He runs cattle. He buys cattle and invests in it to make money in it. Do any of you do that, guys? That'd be something I'd be interested in. Just owning some cattle, at the very least, to eat them myself. The online trading platform boomed during the pandemic as producers battled to restock after years of drought and chased cattle and sheep from all over Australia. Demand pushed the Eastern Young Cattle Indicator to record levels, but Ellen Simpson from Auctions Plus thinks it could go even higher next year. I've heard $10 per kilogram thrown around a number of times, she said. I think the confidence is there. Wow, that's crazy. And here's the global cattle prices, the USA and Australia. We've now overtaken the US. So it's US, then Argentina. It's US, Uruguay, then Brazil, Paraguay, and then Argentina down the bottom. Alistair Bennett from ANZ Agricultural Finance Section thinks the price could continue to climb. We have strong consumption, we have strong export markets, so could it get to $10 per kilogram next year? Possibly, who knows, he said. South Australian livestock agent Darren Manny said he watched a lot of cattle leaving the state for northern New South Wales. At the very least, the weaners aren't going to make any less than they made in December, he said. But you probably expect a 20% rise on the back of demand from New South Wales. So sizzle to simmer. Processors have been cutting back on shifts to reduce costs while prices are so high, but prices do not look like coming down just yet. Every time the processing sector looks like they have half a chance of getting the price back again, it rains, Mr. Manny said. That's bad news for consumers. If young cattle are $10 per kilogram in the sale yard, they'll be much more expensive at the butcher. Yeah, he's right. That's crazy. That's nuts. Ritchie's IGA, which has the majority of its supermarkets in Victoria, is already noticing the trend. Chief Executive Fred Harrison said there was a shortage of premium steaks, porterhouse, eye fillet, and Scotch fillets. Scotch fillets have gone up to around $46 a kilo, partly because there is a supply shortage, he says. Well, what were we paying per kilo from the butcher? Like $11 to $15, everyone. But that was for the entire, well, it's similar to this. It was for the entire beast. We pay that for even the bones that we get and everything when you buy the whole animal. But there you go. If we're hitting $10 in the sow yard, boy. Ms. Simpson said it was unusual for Australian beef to be more expensive than in the United States. We unfortunately have the claim to the most expensive beef in the world, she said, and more the prices could drop significantly. We're projecting a correction of up to 30% moving into the latter half of next year. So would this be something you'd be brave enough to short, everyone? Do you think this is is this price overheating? Particularly with a recession going, will domestic demand slow down? Perhaps with the trade issues with China, will that reduce demand for our beef? So a big turnaround. Cattle breeder Rwanda King is one of those rebuilding the herd, having switched away from Angus breed to Speckle Park. She runs Doctors Creek Speckle Park beef at Bingara in New South Wales and is enjoying a great season. Last year, there wasn't a blade of grass, she said. There was smoke from the fires, big dust storms, and it looked a lot like hell on earth. Now it's just incredible. She's seen record prices. A cow and calf pair sold this year for more than $5,000. It's just skyrocketing since the rain in January. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Is this the food inflation that people are worried about? Even though Australia, we are, we're a breadbasket. We produce more food than we could ever need. But that doesn't mean that demand from overseas isn't going to pull up our prices and affect the average consumer. Look at lobster, how much we make here in Australia. Still goes over to China, and it still is very expensive here in Australia. So high prices and low rates. Home buyers are not the only ones enjoying historically low interest rates. Farmers hammered by years of drought and desperate to restock and plant crops are also enjoying low rates, although banks are deciding the terms for each farm business individually. Mr. Bennett said low rates fixed for up to 5 years were available. We've seen agri-finance out there with a 2 in front of it, he said. But he warned farmers still had to manage the repayments and work out if it was worth borrowing in the current climate. I mean, there you go. During the drought, the number of New South Wales properties sold dropped to its lowest level in 25 years. Prices have since increased by 17%. So rural property continues to climb. According to the Rural Bank, rural property has delivered an average compound annual growth of 7.5% over the last 20 years. In its 2020 report on Australian farmland values, it noted a big drop in the amount of farmland sold and predicted an uncertain future due to disruption in economies around the world. We expect farmland values to continue to grow, but at a reduced rate compared to the growth seen in the past 6 years, the report said. Mr. Bennett from the ANZ said prices were still at record high levels and that the market was still busy in the lead up to Christmas. There have been quite a few acquisitions next door where large family businesses are aggregating, he said. When people are purchasing these blocks, I like to think they are doing the analysis. So there we have it, everyone. Predictions of up to $10 in the yard for cattle per kilo, guys. And just look at where it was just earlier this year. 477 cents per kilogram in 2019, everyone. Look at that surge. Oh boy. We're going to see it. Is this the inflation that the Reserve Bank is hoping for? And have you encountered it in your shopping already? We're on the carnivore diet, so we eat a lot of beef. I may have to start making some phone calls about restocking again. Or do you invest in cattle, everyone? Do you use it as an investment? Let us know in the comments and Share your experiences. And if you're interested in learning how Rachel manages to process an entire cow's worth of beef from the butcher, have a look at the videos on this channel. I'll make sure to link to them in this video. Certainly will. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.